Good evening, and welcome to Ventradio.net's Music Biz 101. Here's your host, Big G and DJ E-Blast. Good evening, world, and welcome to Ventradio.net's second installment to Music Biz 101. And we have some distinguished guests with us tonight, and we're going to introduce them one at a time. Our topic tonight is, what is the difference between a beat maker versus a record producer? Okay, we want to have my guests introduce themselves to you. First, I want to bring to the mic Mr. Charles Gator Moore.
What's going on, world? It's your boy Charles Gator Moore, man. I'm a former Universal recording artist. Had a couple of soundtrack placements. I was on the Baby Boy soundtrack. A song on the Straight Fucking. I was on the Daddy's Little Girl soundtrack. The song was, I did a remake of a song, A Change Gonna Come by Sam Cooke.
In a little tent, oh, just like a river I've been running.
And, I've been on tour with various artists, Keith Sweat, Dave Hollister, and a few different people. So I've had a lot of experience in the music industry, had a lot of experience in the game.
Okay, thank you, Gator. Okay, we're going to go second to Windsor, Ontario. This is Alo.
Yo, what's going on? How you guys doing? I'm a recording artist as well as a producer and a beat maker. We'll get into that later, though. But, I've had songs all over the radio. I've had a track that was #1 in Indonesia. I've been on the top 40 Billboard indicator charts. I got to 44, which is the highest I got. Almost 40, almost cracked. So I've done tours all over the U.S., Canada, El Salvador, name it, I've been there. So I'm still making music. I actually got a song on the radio right now. It is slowly climbing up the charts. It's called Castaway. I'm with a record label named Prodigy Music Group. So.
Okay, we're glad to have you to the show, Mr. International.
Glad to be here, man.
Okay, now let me introduce to you all another singer, songwriter, producer, possibly a beat maker. His name is Lathan, and he hails from Detroit, Michigan.
What's up, 313? What's up, everybody? This is Lathan. I've been in the biz for quite some time now, since I was a kid, actually. I started out in a family group, similar to the Chapter 5 or New Edition. My first professional job, I suppose, was as a producer. I produced a group called IMX, which actually later on, Marcus Houston came out of that group. And I had a gold record, my first gold record from that one. And also, I'm a recording artist. Probably my biggest record to date is called Tweak It. That was also a gold record. I've worked with numerous people in the business as a producer, songwriter. People like Lil Jon from Lil Jon and the East Side Boys, Raphael Sadiq, India RZ, lots and lots and lots of people in the game that people probably know. I don't want to name drop, but I've been around for a minute. I've seen and heard a lot of things, and hopefully from this conversation tonight, I can help somebody who's on the come up. That's it.
Okay, thank you, brother, and welcome to Music Biz 101. Let me say this. If anybody is using their speakerphone, please go ahead and, go to your ears so we can get the best quality and clarity that we absolutely can for the listeners. Okay, let me move right on down.
Parker in the building, Detroit.
Okay, Kilo Parker has just stepped in the building. Now you can be cool for a minute. Do we have Mr. Miles Dixon, alias Doc Chill, on the call yet?
What up, dog?
Doc, can you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself, and you'll find out who's on the show with you as we move along.
Okay. Well, starting with me, I've been engineering since I've been a stage engineer since I was 12. Then I got intrigued with the studio. By the time I was like 14, 15 years old, I was working on that SSL board. That was a beat.
My man.
That's when my agency started coming in because I learned how to work out things with this. And I believe I had a real good ear. And other people like Michael Grace, Michael Powell, I believe they had a good ear too. So they took me up under their wing and started seeing me do different things. And I came up under a lot of veterans. So.
Okay, Tiger Morset, can you introduce yourself to our listeners?
Hi, I'm Tiger Morset from Detroit, Michigan. I don't create beats, but I do write lyrics, and I am an artist. And this is going to be an interesting topic tonight.
Yeah, this Street Lord Rook from Detroit.
Let's go out to Los Angeles, California. Lateef Murdoch, please introduce yourself to the people.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Lateef Murdoch here. Songwriter, producer, man, and that's just what I do. Some people would say I'm a beat maker, but, like I said, like somebody else said, we'll get into that more later.
I want to go to Genuine Sterling out on the West Coast. He is from L.A. He is a record producer, also a movie producer, and a playwright and songwriter.
What's going on, man?
Hey.
Glad to be on here.
Glad to have you.
Hey, Peggy, since you're here, what is your perspective on the beat maker and the producer?
Yeah, this your boy Kilo Parker. I produce, rap, act, whatever they may need, I will do. As long as I get paid a job.
Okay, let's get it popping. Our topic tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is what is the difference between a beat maker and a record producer? And I want to put that right out there, and I want to go straight to Tiger Morset, the lady.
Tiger Morset.
Okay, let's keep it moving. Let's go to Charles Gator Moore. Charles Gator Moore, can you tell us, in your mind, in your opinion, what is the difference between a beat maker and a record producer?
Well, in my opinion, I believe, a beat maker is somebody who's just concerned with, like, making the beat. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. When I say that, it's like just they concerned with the drums, the claps, the sample, and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all they're concerned about. They don't really care. Yeah, they care how the record come out in terms of what's written to the record, or if it's hot, if it comes out hot or not, or whatever. But like a record producer, he wants to, he actually like produces the song. When I say produce the song, he, like, from the beginning, what's going on with the record as far as the ad-libs all the way down from the verse to the chorus to the bridge on out. He's concerned with how the vocals going, what's being written on the record and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? So, but a beat maker, he's just concerned with just the beat being hot. You know what I'm saying? He's not really concerned with being in the studio producing the record or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's the difference between, a beat maker and a producer to me,
Okay. Well, let me ask you this directly, Gator.
Okay.
When you are brought in when you're in artist form and you come into a studio and a producer / beat maker, or whichever one it would be, and they have a pre-recorded track already ready to go for you to come in and sing to.
Right.
Do you find that a beat maker will already have melodies and partial lyrics, or not?
Well, like that was like what we was just saying. A beat maker, he's not really tripping because you know what I'm saying. He's in the studio, of course, but he's not really giving any input. He's just sitting back chilling. Whereas like a producer, he's more concerned about what's being said on the record, or how he coming off, or how the ad lib sound at this off, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But a beat maker, he's mainly concerned if the bass and his drums is kicking hard enough. You know what I'm saying? If it ain't, you know what I'm saying, or if it's too heavy, or if it's too light, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, but But for the most part, a producer is the one that, that goes in, you know what I'm saying, and produces the record, helps the singer out in terms of how to sing the record. If the singer is, for the most part needs help in that direction, so for the most part, that's
all right.
That's
Thank you. Thank you. Let's move over to Rook. Rook, what's your opinion? What would your opinion be about a beat maker versus a record producer?
I would think a beat maker probably, like you said, just make the beat. I think producers are a little more consistent because they know how to arrange the song. They have a good ear to how it should be laid, whether the vocals or the ad-libs or whatever or whatnot. I think the great producers stay consistent and they work with numerous artists and they still be good because they have a good ear and they know how songs should be arranged. I think that's what a producer does. Some beat makers could probably make the beat and never even come to the session, just email it over, and however it turns out, it turns out.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Would you rather be in the studio making a commercial product with a beat maker or a record producer?
A record producer, for sure.
Okay. DJ Blast, come on in, man.
What's up, Mr. Big G?
What's happening, man?
Let me pose a question to the panel. I want to know, there's so many beat makers out here in today's industry. Do you believe they have decreased the value of songs? As far as
I do.
Okay,
believe that they have decreased or increased?
I said decrease the value of songs, the value of your music.
I mean, can I start that off? Man.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would say no. They don't decrease the value. They decrease the value of if they call themselves a producer. But a beat maker in a lot of senses is actually needed because it's just like anything else. When you go on a war and you fight in your army, you don't send out your best of the best to go on the front line, but you do send out your best that know how to make things happen. So the main troops can really get in there and beat down, the opponent. And that's what I think a beat maker do. A beat maker make things aware that it's here, and that general get in there and say, "Listen, we about to do this." He's the protector, so he says, "Hey, make sure you get the right arranger on this track. This beat, okay, but we need this arrangement right. We need the right guitars on this. We need the right percussionists on this." And that's he formulates the final product. That's what a producer does. He formulates the final product, and make sure that everything is is intact. A beat maker would not make sure everything intact. He would just do what he can, and then leave it open.
Okay, well
let me add this. This is what I know, and I'll kind of bring it down on kind of a local level if I can.
Okay, go ahead. Who is this speaking?
Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. Lateef Murdoch.
Oh, there we
go. Things that I used to be able to charge, say, $200 or $300 for. Cats aren't really willing to pay that anymore, and that's a direct result of beat makers. Even though a cat might not be able to deliver something as well polished as I would deliver it, he'll say, "Okay, well, I'll do this for $25." And it might sound garbage, but what's going on now is that you have so many people that don't really understand what a good commercial product needs. They're going to go for that $25 mark. So that, in turn, makes somebody like me have to charge less to be able to even get consideration.
Okay.
Now,
Interesting.
Miles,
do you have a?
Yeah, most definitely. I understand what you're saying, because when I was doing stuff, I was getting $1,500, $2,500 for producing a track, and I was making $125 an hour just to engineer music. But it don't have nothing to do with beat makers. It has something to do with time and technology. However, those might not be the people you want to produce. Those are people you don't want to produce anyway. If they garbage minded in the sense of dumbing down their talent and their product, then let it be. But I'm pretty sure if you get somebody who's on this phone and say, well, we probably won't never deal with nobody who charge $25 to make a decent nothing. We probably would go with each other and make it work as business people and do what we have to do to make a good quality product.
Okay, well, Miles.
Yeah, I think. Can I get something in? I think people understand you get what you pay for.
Yeah, most definitely. But listen, if you dumb down your price because somebody else do, that you lessening your value. You rather get 4 people a month that's going to pay you that $300 than trying to get 10 people that's going to pay you that $25. So that's cool. Right. It's about preference on what you want to do and how you going to base your business model, because garbage in is going to be garbage out all day long, no matter how.
Okay, well, Miles Dixon. Miles.
No doubt about that. The only thing is that so many people out there right now aren't really understanding that garbage in, garbage out is really, that's the law. They just think, is what can I get done for the lowest amount of money?
But
that's not. Wait, we got to share with everybody, y'all.
Okay. I'm sorry, my bad. Go ahead.
Okay, and let me say this. I want to iterate on what Mr. Miles Dixon said. Everybody knows the rapper The Game, correct?
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Game has stated that he bought a beat for $100, and he said the beat was hot. So what Lateef Murdoch is saying is, if you can go get a hot beat for $100, now this is a prime time rapper, was on TV saying I bought a beat for $100 and the beat was good.
Okay, but let me give you the flip side of that.
I'm about to say he ain't tell the truth all the way through.
What singer has come out and said that he got a beat for $25 and it was hot?
I haven't heard of one.
Okay.
But this is Kilo Parker. Hey, let me say something, y'all. What y'all got to understand is the people that's selling those beats for $25 and $100, they're the baby music producers. They have to grow to understand that you got to charge for what you can do. So if you get an industry person that might mess around and run into this cat that's selling his hot beats for $25, yeah, he gonna buy it because he know he got a hit that he gonna make millions off of for $25. But that the music producer would never charge $25 or $100 to do a beat that they would consider hot, because they know the value of it. But those beat makers, they're the music producers. Before Dre was a beat maker before he was a music producer. Puffy was a beat maker before he was a music producer. Babyface was a beat maker before he was a music producer, because everybody, no matter what you dip in, you got to learn it and grow it. You ain't finna jump on Madden with me and you don't know the buttons. I'm gonna tear you apart. So you have to learn that game. So you got to learn anything you dip off into. So what I say is, those beat makers are just the baby music producers. Give them their shot. They sell it for $25. That's them before they understand. But after that first $25 or $100 to that famous person, it's going to be money after that. So let them grow.
Okay.
Well, exactly. That's what I was just thinking. The name, because everybody puts down who produces the beat. So if she sells a beat, I would give my beat away. If Lil Wayne asked me for a beat right now, I would make him a beat for free, just so he put my name down and say that I made the beat. So
sure.
That's an interesting perspective. Was that Alo speaking?
Yeah, that was Alo. Yeah.
Okay, that was a very interesting interjection that you interjected into the show. Explain to us.
Yeah, because a lot of people think money right away, and a lot of people forget that, like, in order to make money, you got to have a name out there first, right? So, if you can do something like sell a beat for $25, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it takes money to make money, but at the same time, you need a name. It's all about a name, right? Because, like, a record label won't even sign somebody unless they got a name right now. I mean, like, you could be the best artist in the world, but that doesn't mean nothing. It's 10% skill and 90% fan base. But anyways, back to that. What I was saying is I think a beat maker needs to make a name for himself before he becomes a producer.
Well, let me address that, Alo. I'm going to say this. If you start out selling a beat for $200, if I buy a beat from you for $200, I would never give you a penny over $200 from that point on. I wouldn't care how big.
Okay, well, there's royalties too, right? Like, you got to take royalties too.
Yes, you would. You would give him more if the record went
Who's that speaking?
top 10.
Wait a minute, who's
If
speaking?
that record went, this is Lathan.
Halo.
No, let's...
Lathan, go ahead.
Yeah. I said if that record that he gave away for free hit #1, you would pay him more than $200 after that because the market would go up after that.
Most
his
definitely.
So he may have started out giving it to you for $200, but anytime your market changes, you know, your marketability changes, you can charge a higher price. I think now I agree in part with what both of these gentlemen were saying, but I don't completely agree with either of them. Because
Okay.
I believe that the market has changed, period. And that's why you have the beat maker. A beat maker didn't exist 10 years ago, 15, 20 years ago. There was no beat maker. There was only the record producer. The beat maker came to fruition because of file sharing. When people started file sharing and
what
record
music
sales
industry
went
are
down,
you in?
I'm in the
all I'm saying
It's always
is,
been beat making.
Wait a minute. Hold. Excuse me, Lathan. Hold up. Wait a minute. Everybody hold up. Calm down. Listen.
Oh, shit, you gonna get it now.
On Music Biz 101, on the Ventradio Network, we will respect each other's opinion, whether you agree with them or disagree with them. You have to be respectful, okay? That's everybody. Lathan, let me interject something. And I'm not trying to blow nobody off or push nobody down. But in my opinion, I think that on tonight's show, from a production, money-making standpoint, I believe that you would be the front runner. So I'm posing this to you. Would you, Lathan the producer, do a beat for $100?
No. Not at all.
Tell us why you wouldn't.
I just feel like if I'm going to do a beat for $100, I'd rather keep it on my CD or in my basement or wherever it's at, rather than give it away. I mean, it's worth more than that to me.
So you feel your music has value?
Terms. I just feel like I would be devaluing my own music and devaluing myself. Okay. I would like to speak to what my man said though about why my opinion is what it is. Mm-hmm. Beat makers didn't exist, and I'm gonna tell you why I say I don't think they existed, and I want him to rebut what I'm saying. Technology is what created the beat maker. Before you had to learn how to play an instrument, you had to learn how to make some music for real, learn how to sing before you could make a beat. So there was no such thing as a beat maker because you had to learn how to play an instrument. Beat makers started to come to fruition when the technology changed and a guy could go in his basement and with one piece of equipment make an entire song. Before that, you had to have a bass player. You had to have a guitar player, a drummer, a singer, a vocalist, horn player, strings, all of these different things to make a song. So until the technology changed, you weren't able to be a beat maker. Beat makers didn't exist back then.
Okay, your point well taken. Let me bring.
Can I say something?
I'm gonna bring you in right now, brother. I know it's a hot topic, and we all are part of this music industry, and our passion is in this. I just want to try to keep us respectful to one another.
Yes,
so now, Miles Dixon has the floor.
Okay, listen. I agree with Lathan to a certain degree, but not all the way. Okay. When it boils down to it, I think we're talking about two genres of music. First of all, And Lathan is into R&B, and he's into the instrument. But when it comes to hip hop, it always been beats. It wasn't. You know, learning have to know how to play an instrument or having a singer. That was unheard of. People was beating on their chest, beating with their jaws or whatever. Beatboxing and stuff. So the thing is, Lathan's partially correct when you're talking about music, but the hip hop industry always had beat makers. You know what I mean? And before, I think when people started looking at the difference between a producer and beat maker, they more so leaning towards hip hop and not R&B. So for this, I believe for this conversation to continue and have people, you know, ears open on it to where it'd be better understand it. It's just that I think we have to talk the language on what we're talking about. We're talking about hip hop music in general or R&B, because it's not the same when it comes to technology. It's not the same when it comes to time.
Okay, well, let me address that right now, because I'm the host and I'm really supposed to stay middle of the road. But let me say this: number one, you're wrong about Lathan and R&B and hip hop. You're wrong about that. Second, hip hop was born from R&B. So you're wrong on that. I think what the gentleman was trying to convey to the listeners and other people on the panel is that everything starts from somewhere. And we all, I think it's safe to say that we all on this phone love hip-hop and love R&B, because hip-hop was born from R&B. You wouldn't have hip-hop without R&B. So let me ask the panel this. Let me bring DJ E-Blast in.
I just want to say this to Miles Dixon. Correct? That's the correct name, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, listen. What Lathan was trying to say is, if you take away the FL Studio, you take away the Logic where you could just push a button on your laptop and tell somebody to make a song, 90% of your beat makers would be history. They wouldn't be able to make a song. So I call those beat makers push-button producers. You take away the technology, they can't make a song. Then that's when the real song makers come back into effect. So that's what he was saying about technology.
This is Lakeith Murdoch here. Let me kind of needle in here, because I'm kind of in the middle of it all, because I can't play an instrument. Never have been able to play an instrument. Can't play an instrument. Can't sing. Okay. But I'll make a song from scratch using no samples, and you'd never know it, that I couldn't play an instrument or couldn't sing. So I think that, I think the difference between a beat maker and a producer can sometimes be blurred. And I have nothing against beat makers, okay? I don't really consider myself a beat maker so much because, I write melodies and lyrics, and I'll deliver the whole song from start to finish. Period.
Can you also write a hip hop lyric?
Yeah. Way back in the day, back when dinosaurs roamed the earth, I used to rap. So, that's
I think a lot of rappers started out. I think a lot of singers started out as rappers. I did myself. This is Gator. I started out rapping. Me and Dilla used to rap together. Me and Dilla was in a group together. I grew up with Dilla. And one thing that was dope about Dilla, he played the drums. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I think what helps out a lot as far as like producers, if they do know how to play instruments, it enhances. It only enhances. And he actually taught himself to play on he actually taught himself to play. As far as he played by ear. He did a lot of stuff by ear. He was just a super talented individual. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I grew up with him, so I saw he was one of the individuals that started off with the Casio keyboard, with I think it was only 6 seconds or something like that with the dual cassette player. You know what I'm saying? So, and I actually saw him make a beat and was amazed at 14, 14, 15 years old, like, wow. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah,
I believe that if you can deliver a finished record, okay, then you're a producer. Period. You take somebody like Puffy, and I've not heard of Puffy being able to play anything. Well, and we know he can't sing, but he can. He can deliver a finished record. Okay. I mean, he might have to bring other people in to work under him, but his ears are attuned to what a finished record is supposed to sound like. And I think above any and all other factors, if you're going to call yourself a producer, that's the most important aspect of that job title, is having the ears to know this is what a finished record sounds like. Go ahead, I'm done.
Hey, if you're enjoying the show or you want to be a guest on the show, no problem. You can email us at ventradio.radio@gmail.com, and we will get back to you ASAP with a scheduling date. If you have a question or comment for one of our guests, or you want to speak to the host, you can dial 559-546-1401. The PIN number is 648899. Thank you.
Welcome to the highly anticipated Music Biz 101 Talk Show.
Okay, yeah, so I just wanted to say that a little while back, because he brought up Puffy, I actually worked with one of Puffy's old producers, P. Diddy's old producers, Young Lord. I don't know if any of you guys have heard of him. Yeah, well, when I went out there, I thought that he was a producer. I was told he was a producer, so I went out there and I was expecting, work with him on a song and stuff like that. And this is no disrespect to him, because he considers himself a producer, but he basically gave me a beat and said, well, take this back to the hotel, write this, and then come back to the studio and we'll drop it. And at that point, then I was just like, that to me was like, that's a beat maker. You know what I mean? That wasn't a producer. Like, I flew all the way out to Brooklyn, to work with the producer, and dude just gives me a beat, like, here, go right to it. Like, I could have did that in my bedroom, like, I could have stayed home for this. So
okay,
I think a lot of people out there get the term producer and beat maker mixed up.
Right. But I'm thinking, and correct me if I'm wrong. You were talking about Puffy, right? Hello?
No, P. Diddy, one of his old producers. Yeah. I don't know if he still works with them or not, but he's made tracks for DMX and Mariah Carey that went, did really well. But he was just a beat maker on it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, never mind. What I was going to say doesn't apply. Okay.
Let me get a little control over our show again. This is very interesting, and we do understand the passion here. I want to ask Charles Gator Moore a question.
Okay.
Gator, are you familiar with Kilo Parker?
No, I'm sorry, I'm not.
Okay. Well, I just want to put a scenario out here. You are traditionally an R&B singer, correct?
Right.
Kilo Parker is a hip-hop producer.
Okay.
Lathan is a R&B producer. In your mind, if the two producers were seeking your services as a vocalist, in which way do you think that you would lean in terms of coming up with a hit record?
I don't know, man. I mean, it depends on which beat is the hottest. You know what I'm saying? Or which it depends on which the chemistry. You know what I'm saying? If me and Lathan get in there and he's playing me some stuff that's crazy, and it just depends, on the vibe. You know what I'm saying? Because I can write to anything. You know what I'm saying? I can write to anything, whether it's a hip hop beat or whether it's an R&B beat. I can write to anything. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so you don't have a problem with going in and hearing a beat and then starting to write?
Nope, I don't have a problem with doing that at all.
Okay, let me pose that same question in reverse to Kilo Parker.
I would more or less go towards the hip hop producer because that's what I do. You know what I'm saying? I like some R&B tracks for hip hop. You know what I'm saying? If they ain't, you know, too slow or too R&B-ish, but more than likely that hip hop gonna bring me that bounce or that swing I'm looking for to do what I need to do for the crowd.
Okay. Moving right along. Mr. Miles Dixon is not only a producer and former artist, he is the head of Oconee Media Group, which is a marketing company. And I want to go just a tad off of topic just to get a perspective, because this also ties into beat makers versus producers. Miles, in your marketing business, is the volume of your business bigger when it comes to producers or from beat makers?
Wow, that's a good question.
I'm good.
I'm good. Actually, the volume of my business more so comes from beat makers.
Wow, really?
Yeah. What I come to find out is that wow, that was deep. Main producers nowadays don't try to market themselves as producers. They try to market themselves as beat makers, and it's like that situation like damn near ass backwards nowadays. Because I'm serious. It's like, well, it's like most producers want to be known like I made that beat instead of I produced that song. The terminology has changed. And then if you say, oh, I thought you said you produced the record. Oh, I did. I made that beat. It's like most producers nowadays don't want to claim to be a producer. Like you got people like AK, Lathan, me, yourself, Glenn. We can say we produced that record. We don't say, yeah, I made that track or I made that beat.
Well, I can tell you, me personally, I'm not comfortable with saying anything about a beat because, and this is just me. This is not reflective of anyone else. I'm not comfortable with the term beat because I understand that this is music and the music business. I've never heard until recently of the beat business. So it's just not a term that's in my vocabulary personally.
Yeah, but even so, most of my business is with beat makers because like beat makers got confidence because they want to be Dr. Dre. Somebody said earlier today, Kilo said earlier that, the beat makers are like junior producers or but that's what most beat makers are fighting to become producers. I got a guy who just make beats right now. Got to make beats right now. And every time he comes to me, he's like, man, you think I'm ready? You think I'm ready? And it's only because he understands that producing the record is more than just making the music. That's all. But yeah,
can I throw one thing out there?
Yeah, just state your name before you throw it out there.
It's Alo here. I wanted to know everybody's opinions on DJing. Where do you think DJing stands in this whole thing?
In the basement.
Most DJs.
Yeah, because there's a lot of DJs now. So
most
yeah. So would you consider a DJ a beat maker? They would just be a beat maker, right? Because they don't, if you look at the VC's new single, he's got what's his name on it? Aloe Black or what's his name?
But the thing is, majority of these DJs now is trying to become beat makers because they want to be producers. But the truth of the matter, I agree with Glenn. If you're a DJ, stick to being a DJ. But in fact, DJing is probably the easiest way to get into a position where more people could admire you and stuff and ask you a whole bunch of questions and make you feel important. If you trust me, if I became a DJ, I get people stroke my ego all the time. I'd be like, man, let me get that record. Hey man, you want your record played? Come down to my club. But at the same time, DJs, you need to, if you're a DJ, stick to being a DJ. And I agree with you, majority of DJs are trying to become beat makers to become producers. And a lot of them has been successful.
Right.
So there's no right or wrong.
Yeah, very true.
Point well taken.
I just wanted to know everybody's opinion on it.
Whoa. Who's speaking?
I'll say this. I'm sorry, Lateef Murdoch. The one thing I noticed, about DJs, one thing people are people go places to see certain DJs spin. Period. That's like, you know, they're selling out venues that like R&B acts can't sell out.
In America?
You know, size-wise.
It's true, yeah, like Skrillex, a BC, you know.
Wait a minute.
That's a huge, you know, that legitimizes
that, by the way.
Yeah, that legitimizes DJs as a form of musician. You know, anytime you get people to spend hard-earned money to come see you live, that's a big deal.
Well, let me.
It is a big deal. I agree on that.
This is Gator speaking on that. I mean, I can imagine that the DJs are definitely coming up, but they could never out, because I've been to old school concerts that's been packed, man. You can't say that they selling out more than R&B singer, man. That'll never happen, man. I mean, I'm sorry. I know disrespecting no DJs.
I think it's happening. I think it happens, but not necessarily in Michigan.
Well, let me pose a question.
Or even all over the world, man. Or even all over the world. That's not. I mean, you can
Skrillex is. I mean, I've never seen nothing packed like a Skrillex concert, so I don't know. That's just my opinion, though. That's Halo.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Hold it, guys. We've touched on something very interesting here. But what I want to ask is, what I want to ask, since Lateef interjected, that is, do you really, in your mind, think that a DJ has the timing and the ear to do what some of these top producers do?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think in some cases, yes.
Okay. Okay. Wait a minute. Hold it. How many of you guys have worked either on the road, I'm not talking about in the studio, on the road in a live venue with a DJ behind you and have been a part of your show or your production? How many of you?
I
have.
Okay. So that's what we'll say. That's 90% of our panel that says yes, they have.
Yeah.
Right.
Now.
But DJing ain't what it used to be, though. DJing is on a whole new level. Now DJs actually produce music. It's not like they're just spinning records anymore.
Hold up, Alo. But you need to understand where I'm going, and then this thing is going to get very interesting. Yeah, the DJ is on a whole new level, but he got a whole lot of more stuff to work with too.
Very true.
What I'm talking about
is true.
In the beginning of the show, Lathan made a statement about the bass player, the keyboard player, the percussionist, the drummer, and all of those folks. And I'm here to tell you that a DJ does not have the timing of a first class or even second tier musician.
True.
Yeah, now, I could, maybe.
Wait a minute. I want somebody to speak to that issue. Let me bring DJ E-Blast in.
I'll name you 3 DJs right off the top. David Guetta is a DJ.
Mm-hmm.
And got probably 9 of the top hits out right now.
I'm not talking about. Wait, whoa.
That wasn't the point.
We are not talking about hits. We're talking about production and production value versus beat makers.
Okay, I'm saying he's produced songs.
So has Disney.
That's true.
Yeah, so has Disney.
What is your question?
Let me give it to you again.
Okay.
Do you agree or disagree that a DJ cannot have the ear, the timing, and the gift that a top flight producer would have?
I mean, the reason why, are you asking me a DJ / nothing else? Or are you asking me a DJ that can produce?
No,
that
never was brought up. You interjected that. We never talked about a DJ that could produce.
So that's what I was saying. That's what I'm asking. What are you
Lateef
asking?
Murdoch interjected the DJ and the fact that they now are so big that they can sell venues out.
Correct.
You're going somewhere else. I'm asking you directly. In your mind, as a producer, you've been producing all your life, right?
Correct.
In your mind, does a DJ, or not a DJ, but the DJ, because it's an art form.
Correct.
In your mind, does a DJ have the timing of a top flight producer?
The timing, I would say this. Top DJs that really, from where we come from with the scratching and spinning and turning the records and all that, I think they got better timing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
To do what they do, a top-notch DJ like that, to do what they do, takes mad skill.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would have to agree with that.
We're not saying that it's not an art form, but I'm saying it from this perspective. Right now, Pharrell is probably the hottest producer in the game.
Correct.
You agree? Do you think that there is a DJ that can command the kind of respect and pay of a Pharrell?
I'm gonna say this. Like Latif just said, come into a venue, David Guetta probably get $100,000 to come spend your show. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
But Glenn, I think that once again.
Come on in, Miles Dixon. You had the floor.
Okay. Listen, I think once again y'all talking about two different things. When he talking about that type of DJ cannot come in and get 100,000 like Jay-Z could come get 100,000. So the method of that DJ getting 100,000 and getting his money where he's getting that as a DJ, and he's right. He can't have thousands of people there. You know what I mean? But it's a niche market. He can't come.
That's
he
what
can't.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying when the bottom line is, yes, there are DJs that do make money, but they're very few. A DJ cannot keep up like a musician can, and point be proven. Like when they're scratching a record, flip a mix. If a musician did that as many times as a DJ did that, a musician wouldn't be considered being good. The DJ can come and all that stuff, and actually look at ways to get on beat and all that. Nowadays, it's like simple. I can DJ now just because of Serato, and I'm actually good because I know how to produce music. So certain things that a DJ never thought of to do, I do it. You know what I mean? Because I'm a producer first.
Anybody else
a DJ would not be able to keep up with a musician. I can put money on it at any given time.
I don't agree with that.
Well, let's wait. Who's speaking?
This is Tiger Moisette.
That's the first thing that you have to do. That's the first thing you have to do.
Okay, this is Tiger Moisette. And I don't agree that a DJ couldn't keep up because one of the great DJ that I worked with for a long time was DJ Duncan Hines. And he went from DJing to producing and all that. But as far as keeping up, I've written to a lot of stuff that he has done, and he produced, because he played instruments also. But as far as them keeping timing and a musician, because, I used to play clarinet. But the timing, as far as that, I think that DJs nowadays, they can keep up with the timing.
Yeah,
Wait
a minute. Okay, your point is well taken, sister. Maybe I put the question out there a little bit bad because it's no question that a DJ can keep up with timing because guess what? He can tell one turntable to play at 80 beats per minute and the other one to play at 80 beats per minute. So that's perfect timing. But maybe I kind of misconstrued it. And it could be because growing up in the music industry, I've always thought that a DJ's job was to play the records that we made. Now, I understand that things have changed. I get that. But I have yet to meet a DJ personally, and I've been around the globe. I have yet to meet a DJ personally that has impressed me in the studio. Now, Lathan has worked with one of the biggest DJs in the world on his biggest record. So I want to ask you, Lathan, if DJs were as good at making records as top flight producers, why did they need you on Freakin'? Because clearly Lil Jon's a big DJ.
Who else?
You're listening to Music Biz 101 on Ventradio.net on the Vent Radio Network.
I'll say this, and I don't want to knock, anybody, nobody's craft.
Right.
I think guys that DJ are talented. I can't say that they're not. I think it's a different talent than being a producer or a musician, but I do believe that they're talented. Lil Jon is a producer / DJ, and I'll say this: being a DJ tunes your ear to what people want in an immediate sense. And that's the thing that I like about DJs when they come into the studio. Now, as far as them being able to play something or anything like that, no. But I love the fact that they have this ear that's in tune with. See, a DJ's job when they're in a club is to keep the crowd moving. If anybody's sitting down on that floor, if somebody gets off that floor and sits down, they're not doing their job. So a DJ's ear is in tune to what does the crowd want to hear to get them moving, to get them up and get them dancing or whatever. So for that, I believe that is very valuable if you got them in the studio. Like when I worked with Lil Jon, he was in tune with that. He was in tune with what a club wanted to hear.
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
This is why I think people like Jermaine Dupri is a DJ also.
Right.
And so when you find a DJ that becomes a producer, they have a little bit of an edge. Because a lot of musicians they just play and they know how to play, but they're not in tune with pleasing a crowd. So
they don't know how to rock a crowd.
Exactly.
Wow, that was I honestly absorbed that. That was great information.
Exactly.
Yes, it was. Yeah, Lathan, you really gave up some knowledge right there, my brother. Listen,
That's
guys,
what I was trying to say. That's
we're
exactly
approaching,
what I was trying to say.
We're approaching the 9 o'clock hour, and we really appreciate you guys calling in to be a part of Music Biz 101. And we would love to have you guys back as often as we can, because I know that the people on this panel know the music industry. And it is our mission at ventradio.net to give out valuable information so we can get our industry, the industry that we all love, back where it once was.
Okay, we're back with Music Biz 101. And the question that I asked earlier was, does a beat maker devalue the cost of production in today's music? And I want to take that question to Rook.
Okay, well, I feel like this about it. I feel like music as a whole has been devalued by technology, because anybody can make a beat, or anybody could just jump in the studio and make a song in this day and age, when years ago you had to be talented to do it because the cost was so high. Nobody was going to invest in you if you wasn't talented. If you wasn't a great producer, nobody was going to put up the money for you to go in there and play around on their 2-inch reels and be blowing their money. So music as a whole is not what it used to be, in my opinion.
Okay, so what you're saying that today's music is not as strong as it was years ago.
I'm saying that you have everybody thinking they're beat makers and producers, and they don't know nothing about beat making and producing. You got an 8-year-old kid, he making beats on his computer. He thinks he's a beat maker and a producer.
A producer, correct. Now I agree with you right there, Rook.
Just because he made a beat on his keyboard with Reason, he don't even know what probably most of the instruments are called, about being in key or anything. He can't coach nobody how to sing a song and the melodies and how something should go. He's just doing it because technology has.
Okay, I understand.
So fast where the talent is not equal to the technology at all. When you have a producer making a beat, or a beat maker, if you want to call them that, just because he can sit at the computer and he can listen to a good melody and it comes out good, that does not make him a producer, in my opinion. I think it's just technology has advanced so greatly that it has anybody into music right now. You have the young girl who did It's So Cold in the D. Well, whoever made the beat thought they was a great producer, and she probably thought she was a great rapper, and the song has got a lot of popularity, but would you consider that great music?
Well, you know what? It's funny that you brought that particular song up, Rook. The producer who did that song, Carl B, was actually supposed to be on the show tonight. He got caught in between flights, though. But those people absolutely just took his music and, I mean, they actually stole it from him and just did what they wanted to do with it. And he actually contacted me about that record. And the record was so, in my opinion, I'll just say out there, that I couldn't believe that it was even, that anybody was even interested in the record. But somebody was.
But,
okay.
But was they into the music as a mockery?
Who else?
Teaching the music biz, one show at a time. Music Biz 101, Ventradio.net.
Or was they into it because it was good music?
I asked myself that same question. I really did. But
I've
you know,
never heard nobody playing It's So Cold in the D other than laughing at how bad it was.
Wow.
Okay.
I mean, he's absolutely correct. I mean, you know, we try to stay middle of the road and not just diss anybody on Music 101, but that particular record deserves dissing.
Well, I know Carl B as a producer, and I know he's a very good producer, so I'm not even aware of what records you guys are speaking of.
Oh, man, you have to look it up online, man. I mean, they took this music and, man, destroyed it.
Whoa, okay.
But it went viral. It kind of like went viral, and like Rook is saying, you know, it's kind of like, well, are they serious or is this a joke? What is this?
The video from the girls being on beat, the rapping, if you watch the video, I don't know Carl B, I don't know the young ladies, but they gained a lot of popularity from the song, but in my opinion, it was a mockery to Detroit.
What I can tell you this, Carl B was absolutely pissed off about it. Absolutely. I mean, you know, it's not like he sent somebody a beat to check out. I mean, some kind of way they just stole his beat.
The last thing that I want to say is I started out making R&B music and hip-hop. I'm from the old and the new school. My life was positioned in a way where I kind of have both education. I got the new school education and the old school education. Everybody that I grew up with was older than me. So I learned from the older cats, but I also was around all the cats that was into hip-hop, and that's why I do hip-hop to this day. So I don't want it to get misconstrued. Latham does hip-hop also. And if you don't believe me, go to my website. My website is lathammusic.net. Go there and check it out. I make just as hot hip-hop beats as I do R&B beats. I'm not 95 years old. I know what the game is about from start to finish. So I just want to clear that up because earlier somebody made it seem as if I didn't know anything about hip-hop. But I'm a baby of hip-hop. I remember when Run DMC came out with Hard Times, and the producer on that record was Rick Rubin. Rick Rubin is not a beat maker. He is a producer, and you can't go get him today because of that simple fact. But let's do our history lesson. If we're going to talk about music, let's talk about what we really know. Let's talk about what we really see. The first rap record that ever came out, hip hop, the hip, it's pop, that record right there that everybody knows the words to, that record was a record that had already been out before that was made by Chic. So let's just break that down for real. That was real R&B music that they was rapping over. Everybody rapped over James Brown for the first 10 years of hip hop. James Brown.
Oh, shit, you gonna get it now.
Boy, it got a little heated up there for a minute. I would like to address this, the part of the topic where we got into beat makers versus record producers, because Lathan brought up some very, very interesting points about how beat makers have devalued the price of production. I want to go to Genuine Sterling out on the West Coast. He is from LA. He is a record producer, also a movie producer, and a playwright and songwriter. So I want to bring him in to elaborate on the topic. How you doing, Sterling?
What's going on, man? I'm glad to be on here.
Glad to have you.
And I just wanted to, expound on what my man Lathan was saying. Each one of the beat makers and, real, music producers, and I hate to say real music producers, but it's the real deal, is we can do it all. You know what I mean? We don't just have to have a drum machine or a sequencer in front of us. If the sequencer went down, we know how to bring live musicians in and get it done or play it ourselves. The other thing is that, hip-hop came from, all the samples. What is that? That's R&B. It's cats like us. The other thing is we keep music going because it's cats like us that play for real and create, real music like that, to where cats that make beats can hear the beats hear the music that we're making, and they expound on that and they sample that and keep the hip-hop culture going. So, we all serve a purpose, but, we're more than just, R&B producers. We can produce anything. When you can play and you know the theory behind music and you've been doing this for a while, you can do whatever it is you want to do.
Okay.
And you can do it well.
Well, let me ask you this also, Sterling, while we got you on the show. What is the cheapest that you have heard in the California area that a person got a track did for, if you know?
Well, that's a kind of crazy thing, because what happens now, you got people, I call them McDonald's. They do the McDonald's tracks, and so they just do a whole bunch of like janky, toe up tracks, and they just do them. And what they do, they might sell them, it might be $200 or $100, but they ain't selling the track. You using it, but let me tell you, I got the #1 high school tour here in California, and right. I've seen this on more than one occasion, to where artists are almost in tears because they get up there, and they get to the gig, and somebody else doing the same track. You know what I'm saying? Doing the same track. And so, but that's what happens with that beat maker thing. See, when we sit down and really produce a track, we can't give you no track for $200 or $100. Because that's a track that was really produced, and sometimes it got live stuff in it. We ain't giving it to 100 people. You know what I mean? We ain't just giving it out like that. So that's another thing. You got originality. So what I mean? They selling them for cheap, but what I mean? Maybe 100 people using it.
Yeah, and the thing of it is, from an economical standpoint, how can you sell a beat for $200 if you got $1,000 invested into it?
There you go.
See, and that's the thing that I don't think that actually any of the guests have touched on tonight. What do you think about that, DJ E-Blast?
I think I agree with Sterling out there. I agree with him 100% as far as the producers. And I kind of seen what he's saying about the beat lease, what they do with the lease of beat. You might go to a show and all 10 artists get up there with the same beat. They look at each other like, what happened?
I never even considered that.
Yeah, that happens in the lease of beat deal. I'm not saying that it's not a good way to make money. It is a good way to make money, but let me ask you a question, Sterling, that another cat on tonight's panel said from Canada that if Lil Wayne wanted the beat from you, he'd give it to him for free. Would you do the same thing?
It depends on what the terms are. If he has no credits at all and they're going to give him credits, then yeah, it's a good move. You know what I mean? You know, America does that with everything. You know what I mean? They'll say, well, we'll give you a free this, but you got to pay for the next one. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
right.
I can see that, but let me say this: that what has happened with this new generation of beat makers and hip hop artists, they have no idea of, you know, what they're doing this for. You should be able to make money from it. You should be like a carpenter. You know what I mean? A carpenter don't come and put shelves in your house or build you stairs in your house for free.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That's a skill. They don't understand that they have a skill that can keep them from doing, you know, illegal shit. It can keep them off these streets. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's a lot of things that if they do it right, and they even if it's a little money, because everybody wants that home run. They want that platinum selling song, you know, that's gonna rake in this amount of money or whatever. But they don't understand. There's people out here every day. They making $100,000 a year, and they good.
Hey, Peggy, since you're here, what is your perspective on the beat maker and the producer?
Well, I think a beat maker uses current technology, you know, little programs to make music, and a lot of them are not, you know, well versed with instruments. They're just, you know, very good with technology. But then I also think a producer knows how to produce a project from top to finish, from getting the maybe some musicians to play on the track. Producer kind of understands what direction they want the song to go in. They sometimes know how to produce vocals, the background vocals. They are more familiar with more of the elements of you know, getting a song done from top to finish, right, as opposed to the beat makers just, you know, being creative with the sounds and kind of keeping up with the trends and giving people what they want based on, you know, technology. So I think that's the difference.
That was a good explanation. I was just curious.
Let me ask this, because we're still recording.
Okay.
If you had to spend your money to go in and make a record, would you feel more comfortable spending your money on a full-fledged producer or with a beat maker because he's cheaper and may have something that you feel is hotter?
Well, if I like the beat and I know that the person that made the beat is only good at making beats and, you know, don't have a track record of you know, doing the whole thing, even mixing. Sometimes the beat maker is not familiar with mixing and mastering, you know.
Really good. Infectious as well.
You're listening to Music Biz 101 on ventradio.net. I want to move on to Miles Dixon. Miles, what advice do you have for our listeners around the world, as well as young folks that want to break it off into the music industry?
Well, I would like to propose something to those on this phone, such as Gator, Lathan, Kilo, and yourself. I think you just need to do a whole album together and get a couple of veterans together and call it Veterans Day to show people what producing is really about. I would like to start off by saying that.
That's what's up.
Then I like to say that, you know,
I'm definitely with that.
Everybody who's starting in music has to start somewhere. I just think that they have to be respectable when they're doing it. They just cannot say, "Oh, I'm this and I'm that," and don't acknowledge where things come from and or appreciate the next person for doing other things that they cannot. Like the DJ, he's good. DJ is good. DJ do have an ear. That's to make him a DJ, keeping people on the dance floor. He can add to your project. But will a DJ actually, will I go look for a DJ to produce my music? No. And then if I do look for a DJ to produce the music, I don't look at him as a DJ, I look at him as a producer. So I think people just need to put people in their proper perspective and just look at things for what they is.
Okay, we thank you for your closing and your comment. We appreciate you, brother. I'm gonna give my did I give it? I need to bring Lateef in from Los Angeles, California. Lateef, what would be your last word, brother?
All right, real quick. I ain't gonna take up too much time. I think the most important thing that anybody doing anything needs to understand is that whatever you call yourself, whether you're a producer or a DJ or a beat maker or whatever, be the best that you can be at it. Don't call yourself something and then walk in the studio and not be able to do that thing.
Yes, sir.
Also, be very, very hypercritical of yourself. Be willing to go to the nut house because you're so critical of what you just did. Don't tell yourself something is hot and it's not really hot. Thirdly, surround yourself by people that know what they're talking about and are not afraid to tell you the truth. Make sure you are the weakest person in your clique. Because if you're the weakest person in your clique and you trying to be as good as everybody else and your clique is hot, guess what? You're going to be hot, period. It's that simple. And lastly, check out LateefMurdock.com. That's LateefMurdock. I got 5 tips that will help you become a star. It's necessary reading for anybody that's trying to do this.
Let me take it over to DJ E-Blast.
What's up, y'all? I just want to say I appreciate everybody calling in tonight and being a special guest on our show tonight. And we do understand that there are beat makers and there are producers. And I just want to say I think a beat maker should try to become a producer to take the industry back where it should be. Because you can never get it for real to do a beat for $300.
But one thing that has to be consistent if you're going to be successful in this industry, you have to love it. You have to live it. So live it and love it. And this is Big G for Music 101. And we out and see you next Wednesday. Peace.
Peace.
You're listening to Music Bizz 101 on ventradio.net.